Power Query's group by features includes an option called all rows. So here is a scenario where that particular option would come in handy. So let us take a closer look at it. So the next task is to calculate the budget deviation for each actor and use the average budget of the rating column as a basis. So let us use the original table that contains the budget information for each actor. So our task is to determine the average budget for each rating and then calculate the difference between each actor's budget and the rating's average. This will help us to determine whether an actor's budget is above or below the average of the respective rating. For example, we can check if Stephen Scar's budget is above or below the average for crime rating. To achieve this task, there are several methods we can use to complete this task. For instance, we could make a pivot table and apply formula to obtain the desired outcome. Alternatively, we could also utilize formulas to accomplish this. However, an even better option is to take advantage of Power Query to get the job done quickly and efficiently. So let us proceed with that approach. So I'll click anywhere inside the dataset, go to Data tab, and from Table Range, I'll name this table Average All Rows and press Enter. So now let us break down this task into two separate calculations. So firstly, we will determine the average budget for each rating, and secondly, we will calculate the difference. To accomplish this task, we can utilize the group by feature. So go to transform and group by. I need to calculate the average budget for each rating. So I'll select the rating column over here, rename the new column to average budget. In the operations tab, I will select average, and in column, I'll select budget. So keep in mind that if I click OK, all the other information will disappear and only these two columns will be displayed in the report. However, I also need to perform additional calculation on this data. So I have not finished yet. To use all rows, click on the gear icon and then select the advanced tab because I need to add the aggregation. This time I will name this column as detail, and under operation select all rows and the column will be grayed out. So press OK and see what we get. We get a table for each row. So by clicking on the side, not on the top of the table but on the side, I can see the dataset for the crime rating. So basically what all row does is give back a table that has the details for the grouping that I selected. So this way I don't lose all that information. So I can keep that information, and because I get the double-sided arrow, I can expand this and get each individual column as a separate column over here. Since I already have the rating information, I don't want it. The language I can keep, but in this example, I don't actually need it. So I'll just deselect it. And I'm really interested in actor's name and their budget. Use original column names as prefix. If I keep this on, it will only give the column name as details.actors name and details.budget. So I'll just untake it and press OK. I now have the budget for each actors and the average budget for the rating. Calculating the deviation is a simple process. Firstly, I need to select the column that I want to deduct and then press and hold the control key. And secondly, I need to click on the second column and then go to add column under standard and subtract. So I now have the information about the deviation of each actor's budget from the average budget. I can easily rename this column by double clicking it and typing deviation. Press enter. I can now remove all the other unnecessary information. So budget column is no longer needed. So I'll just select it and press delete. Also the average budget column is no longer required. So I'll just select it and press delete again. So this will leave me with only the rating column, actor's name and deviation. So let us sort this on rating column first in ascending, and then on deviation column sort descending. So our task is completed. Let us send this to Excel. So go to Home tab, close and load to. So this time I'm going to paste my data in aggregate data all rows. So select existing worksheet, select the sheet, and in A3 I will import my data. So press OK. So let us make our data more readable. So select the deviation column. So select all the numbers by pressing Ctrl Shift and down arrow, and then press Ctrl+1. Go to numbers. I don't want any decimal places and I will use 1000 as a separator. So press OK. So the benefit of using this method is that any updates made on the original dataset, such as new actors or changes in budget, will automatically reflect in our second query when we click on the refresh button. So let me give one example. So I'll go to my main tab. So here for the actor's name Stephen Carr, the budget is 2000. So let us make it 20,000. So let us go to our query sheet and locate for Stephen Carr. So at present he was in crime rating, so he must be over here. Alright, so at present you can see his budget is below the average. Still we have not refreshed the file. So let us refresh the file. So right click anywhere inside the table and refresh. So now Stephen Carr is no longer here because he has moved up in the hierarchy. So now his budget is above the average. So as you can see, he has now moved up in the hierarchy. So this is the advantage of using all rows in Power Query's group by feature. So I hope you have liked this video. Please subscribe to my channel and I will see you in the next video.